everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And Nick. It's what? We're like a little less than 2 weeks from Christmas, which is freaking crazy because it seems like we just had Christmas. But 14th of December, what happened in history on this day?
Yeah. I've got two good ones for you.
Okay.
So the first one, Shirley Jackson was born on this day, and Shirley Jackson was a horror writer. And
That's horror.
she is
That's horror, folks.
horror
Not
writer.
horror. There's an extra R at the end.
Yeah. She was most known for writing The Lottery and The Haunting of Hill House. And The Haunting of Hill House is one of my favorite Netflix adaptations, like book to screen.
Nice. Okay.
So good.
Nice.
And then my favorite one for the day, on this day in 1542, Mary Stuart becomes Queen of Scotland at just 6 days old. So Catholic in a Protestant country, she is forced to abdicate several years later in 1567, and then flees to England, joins Elizabeth, blah, 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 gets beheaded, whatever. But 1542, she was crowned queen.
Crazy at 6. Like little kid.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I mean, she had, they always have someone that is actually
running the country. Yeah, actually running it.
Yeah, what's the word? I'm blanking on the word. Anyways, yeah, but she was queen, yes.
Yeah. I found one on here, too, that in 1903 was the first time that the Wright brothers tried to fly the Wright Flyer in Kitty Hawk.
Ooh, interesting.
And there were several different things, but those were ones that I found interesting.
Yeah.
Or that we found interesting. So, anyway, Nick, this week we are talking about the Elms, which goes back to our trip that we took a couple weeks, almost a month ago now, in Kansas City, or Kansas City / Eureka...
Excelsior Springs.
Excelsior Springs. I want to say Eureka Springs because that's down here, Arkansas. Well, actually, you know what? We should go there, too, because there's a supposedly haunted hotel there, too, that we need to stay at.
Yes, the Crescent.
Yes, the Crescent. So that should be... It's kind of like Excelsior Springs. It's like a little town that, kind of the same type thing.
Known for, its healing water. Yeah,
exactly.
Same type of vibe.
So I guess we need to stay there, too, at some point. So that's the next trip I guess we need to plan. But anyway, this week we are talking about the Elms, which we stayed at when we did our tour of the Titanic Museum, and we talked about the Jesse James home or farm or whatever you want to call it, birthplace. But while we were there, we took a haunted tour of the Elms Hotel in Excelsior Springs and stayed the night, which I had friends at work who were horrified that I would stay in a haunted hotel and were scared that I was going to bring back a demon with me or something and get them...
Always the D word.
Yeah, well, I don't know that they said demon, but they didn't want me to bring back anything that would...
Something negative,
Yeah, something negative that would get them involved.
And conversely, when I told my friends and coworkers that, they were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean...
So, par for the course.
Yeah, so... But anyway...
I will say, before we talk about the history of the Elms and everything, when you actually, stay the night, we're sleeping, because we each had our own rooms. Me and Casey had one room, you had room, I think, right above us, honestly.
Yeah.
Did you have any experiences personally?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't either. But Casey, my husband, did, and he is famously a non-believer.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't say non-believer, a skeptic, I think is a better word.
I mean, I'm a skeptic,
it's not like he doesn't
too.
believe in anything, but
I mean, I don't really know that any of this stuff's going to happen. I just go in kind of whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool if something does, but I've never actually seen anything. I mean, there's been a couple interesting things that have happened, but I'm always like, is that really real or is that just something happening? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Like, it's interesting. You wonder, but it's
Yes.
not really. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
but no, nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything happen.
And
So
I didn't really either, but I also, so the Elms, great hotel, by the way, they give you, since it's also a spa, they give you a robe, eye mask, earplugs. So they only give you one set per room. So I used them. So I didn't see or hear anything. um, but uh, Casey did. And he woke up around, it was like 1 or 2 a.m. It wasn't 3 a.m. witching hour. It was like 1 or 2. But he woke me up and was like, "Hey, can we turn on the TV?" And so we turned. I was like, "Okay, whatever." I knew he doesn't usually wake me up like that, so I'm like, "Okay, something must be wrong."
yeah,
So we turned on TV. I think South Park was on
yeah.
because it was like late at night. Um, and then a couple minutes later, he's like, I think I had sleep paralysis. And I was like, well, explain to me what happened. And I was super groggy, but I was like, okay,
Mhm.
explain to me what happened or tell me what happened. And he said he had that feeling of you're still asleep but awake, like you're awake, but you can't move.
Mhm.
And he said he, like, his eyes were open but he couldn't move, couldn't speak. He couldn't wake me up because he couldn't move.
Yeah.
And he said out loud or in his head, not out loud because he said he couldn't speak, but in his head, he said, stop it. And then it stopped. And then he was able to wake me up.
Hmm.
So I don't know. And he's usually a heavy sleeper. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It
mean,
was it
I
was
have.
weird because we've never had that. He's never woken me up saying I had sleep
Yeah.
paralysis. So I don't know if it was anxiety, who knows,
I
but that
mean,
is a common thing that the tour guide said. So,
yeah. I mean, my dad's had sleep paralysis.
hmm
Um, I have. I've talked to other people who have had sleep paralysis, and I've heard it's terrifying. Like, I can only
hmm
imagine waking up and not being able to move or talk, or and just being like in a half sleep, half awake
Yeah.
uh, state. And I know that it can also cause, like, you can have hallucinations in that because you're kind of still like
hmm
your brain's still in a sleep state,
hmm
but you're also half awake. So it's like you're in a weird state. You're in a weird mental
Yeah, and I
state.
feel
So,
like with sleep in general, there's still a lot of unknowns
hmm,
about sleep. Like there's a lot of unknowns about dreaming, and I don't know. So I feel like we're not going to know for a long time until technology and medicine really advances, like truly what sleep paralysis is.
yeah,
But it does go hand in hand because of the hallucination side of it. It goes hand in hand with a lot of like hauntings and
yeah,
things like that. I don't know. That's one of those things that I don't know either way. I'm not a sleep doctor. I'm not, I don't have my doctorate in paranormal, so
yeah,
I'm just here telling stories.
yep, exactly. But yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I
Mhm.
no, I didn't use the earplugs or the robe or anything. I just kind of set them over on the side,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I for
that was
sure
it.
did because I'm like, no one's talking to me in my sleep, and I'm not gonna wake up and see anything in the corner. So, masked up, earplugs in,
Nope.
I was
I
ready.
just went to sleep and then woke up and that was it. Like, I didn't no
Yeah.
didn't make a difference to me. But
Yeah. Because that was one of the things, we'll get into it here in a minute, but the tour guide was like, a lot of people hear whispering in their ears. And so I was like, nope, not gonna hear it tonight.
it is funny. Like, I don't I don't know if it's a gimmick by the hotel or if they've had so many, like, if they decided that they've had so many comments that they're like, we should probably start giving out earplugs because, like, that's a
Yeah.
sign. Like, if it's a gimmick to make people think something, because not everybody takes the paranormal tour, it's an extra fee to do it.
Yeah. Some people
So
are there just for the spa. And it was called like their spa kit or whatever. So,
yeah, But
I
why do
think
you
it's
need?
just part having to do with the spa.
Do you need
And
earplugs
I
in a
don't
spa
know.
kit? I don't. Why would you need earplugs in a spa kit though?
No, I think it was just more for like comfort, like sleeping. Like some people do sleep with earplugs all the time.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I am a heavy enough sleeper. I don't. That was the first time I've ever slept with earplugs in.
Okay, I
But
mean I guess there. I mean I guess that makes sense because like when the air conditioner kicked on in that building, it was kind of loud. Like
it
I
was
can understand
loud
that, but
because it's an old, yeah.
it's an old building. But I'm I mean, to me, it's just white noise, and my air conditioner in my apartment's kind of loud too. So I guess I'm used to
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. Like that doesn't bother me. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Yeah.
let's start off with the history, Nick, because this place
Hmm.
is flipping old.
Yes. So started in the 1800s. So 1888 was the first original building of the Elms, but a couple years before that, the reason they built it there was they discovered this reddish spring of healing mineral waters that was flowing from the banks of the Fishing River, which I guess runs to what is now the side and back of the Elms property. So the spring was named Siloam Spring, and I guess is the only spring in the US to produce this specific
Hmm.
mineral. So it's ferromanganese mineral water. It'd be interesting. I didn't look up, what the Crescent Hotel is in Eureka Springs, what type of water they have, but in Excelsior Springs, it's, I guess, ferromanganese mineral water.
Hmm. Okay.
So the supposed healing effects is why Excelsior Springs became this health destination for people near and far. That seemed to be like a thing in the late 1800s, early 1900s, people traveling for healing and different things. Because I've heard that more than just this in the Crescent, I've heard that other places
Hmm.
too in the US. So, um, they believed and a lot of the stories, so like there was a local farmer named Travis Million who gave this mineral water to his daughter who had tuberculosis, and she was cured, which was, from what I know about tuberculosis back then, not like a common thing to be cured from it.
No,
So
most people died. It's
mhm.
just what it is.
um So in 1888, the original Elms Hotel was built out of wood and slightly down the road from where the Elms is today, but pretty close. So it was like a real, I looked up a picture. There's a picture in this history packet that they have on their website, and it's really pretty. It's like it almost looks like a castle, but like a
Hmm.
plantation, like a southern house or something that
Yeah.
has all those porches.
Yeah.
Um, but not long after it was built, 1898, the first of three fires um, raged through. So obviously it was an all wooden hotel at that point. So it was a pile of ashes, but no fatalities or injuries. So they must have gotten everyone out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, so they
Which is
rebuilt,
crazy that there was no fatalities or injuries in a fire that
yeah,
like
in a massive
burned
hotel.
through a massive hotel and there was no
Mm-hmm.
fatalities or injuries is in the
Yeah.
1800s is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So there was nothing there for a while. So between 1898 and 1908, there wasn't a hotel, but I guess the local townspeople saw the need for the commerce and the tourists and everything. So they began construction on the new building in 1908 and opened in 1909. And then in 1910, another fire
Burnt down again.
ravaged through the building. So then came plans to build a third
Yep.
Elms Hotel. So the there were I guess there was some exterior limestone that was salvaged from the second building um, and used to create the second Elm. So in 1912, so that would be it took them 2 years to rebuild
Hmm.
for the third time. So 1912 it opened
And that's
again
the
with
current one
its
that stands today.
that's
That's
the
the one you
current. So
stay
the
in.
grand
Yeah.
ballrooms, the spa, the
That's the one you stay in
verandas.
if
Yep.
you go in now. It's
Yep.
100 and what is that?
Hmm.
125 113 years old at this point.
Yeah. Yep. So this was really close to the Roaring Twenties. They had a great Roaring Twenties. Lots of economic growth, prosperity, notoriety, lots of tourists. And then, like many places, the 1930s definitely fell into hardship because they were almost converted to a sanitarium and then filed for bankruptcy in 1931. And then 1932, new ownership bought it and reverted it to the hotel and health spa that it is. So went into bankruptcy, new owners bought it, the same thing.
Okay.
Which would have been crazy if they had converted that to a sanitarium in the 30s. Like so many other sanitariums, it probably would have been abandoned right
Mm-hmm.
now, if
Yeah.
not torn down by now.
Yeah.
So crazy. So between the 30s and 40s, lots of gangsters, governors, sports figures, which Kevin will talk about in a little bit. The 50s and 60s,
They're
they
all the
saw
same
a lot
thing.
of, yeah, they saw a lot of corporate, like I think that was the boom of the corporate world was the 50s and 60s. So they would often rent out like the entire hotel for, it says Avon, Standard Oil, and American Red Cross were some of the big names that rented out the entire hotel.
Okay.
And
By
then
the
the
way,
late 19,
it's not a super big hotel, guys. It's like she's saying that rent out the whole hotel. It's
yeah.
not that big of a place. Like it's not
I mean
a
it's not small,
it's an
but
okay size hotel, but it's not like a super like it's not like a massive hotel that you might think of. I mean,
I
it
want to
was
say
built in 1912, but so it's
yeah.
not it's 5 stories. It's not a huge. It's not
The
like
rooms are pretty big.
oh yeah, the rooms are massive.
Yeah.
I'll put up pictures so you can see the rooms.
Yeah,
Um,
our bathroom was the size
I
of our
I think
living
I think the
space.
bathroom was as big as the bedroom. I think I could have
Yeah.
fit another bed in the bathroom. Like it was massive. Yeah, it's tons of space. Now I don't know
Yeah.
if that's been. It didn't look like it looks like it's been. My dad asked me this actually. He's like, "Did it look? Is it nice?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's very nice. Like it's very elegant, but
Yeah.
it's not what you would consider it's not what you would consider luxury today. If it's not what you would
Yeah.
consider modern luxury, it is very old luxury.
It's
It's a
vintage
very
luxury.
nice hotel, but it is not modern. It is
Yeah.
very old.
Correct.
And the
Yeah.
hotel rooms are like, yeah, they have updated, like you can stream your phone to your television and it's got, modern
And
key
they have
cards and all that kind of
Keurigs and
stuff.
they have
Yeah. They
all the
have
normal
all that
modern
stuff.
stuff, but
And like
it is definitely a vintage
but it
luxury
is yeah.
feeling.
And the rooms like yeah, they have everything modern. Like they have the
Because they did
stuff, but
a so between the 80s and 90s it opened closed, through different economic hardships, but when the new owners renovated in 2011 it was a $20 million renovation. So it's been renovated, like it is very nice, but it still
yeah.
has that very 1900s vibe,
Yeah.
like luxury vibe, and
Yeah.
not like modern Hilton luxury presidential suite vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the like tiling in the rooms and stuff and everything, like in the bathroom, it still looks like something would look in the 1900 like in the early
Yeah.
1900s. Like it doesn't look like they changed much. Like the fixtures and
Yeah.
things, like the
And so like I loved it
oh yeah,
because I'm
it
like,
was very
oh cool,
cool.
I can put on my Victorian nightgown and feel like I fit in with the property. And Casey's like, what is this place?
I
He's like, I
mean,
thought you said this was going to be like
yeah,
luxurious
it
because he
is.
was expecting something different. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've stayed in the uh it's a lot like I stayed in the Phillips in downtown Kansas City.
Yeah.
And it's a lot like that, which is another old hotel, but it's also a very nice, like a luxurious
Very
hotel, but
historic place.
very
Yeah.
historic hotel. And it's the same feeling, it's the same vibe. Everything is old, but it's also everything is very grand and everything is
Yeah.
very it's very nice, it's very luxurious, but when you go
Yeah.
in, it does
Like
not
when you walk into the Elms, you're just like,
yeah.
holy
It's very pretty.
cow,
It's very
for a
beautiful.
nicer word. It's very pretty and very grand.
It's very pretty.
But yeah, so they did a massive renovation and then it was eventually bought or is part of the Hyatt property. So it's part of Hyatt
Hmm.
now. So you could use your, if anyone has loyalty rewards, you can use your Hyatt points. It's very
Nice.
nice. But yeah, that's kind of the history of the ups and downs of it and why it started. But I love that they stay very true to their origins.
Hmm.
They fully embrace their history and everything, and I love that.
Yeah.
So I had a lot
Um,
of fun.
they talk about their historic people that were there, whether it
Hmm.
was good or bad. They have Harry Truman boardroom because President
Hmm.
Truman was a notable guest that used to stay there, um, and he stayed there actually the night that he was elected president.
Yeah.
Because he was only elected once. He
Hmm.
was president technically for 2 terms, but he was first term was after FDR died in office and then
Hmm.
elected for a second term. So um, he was staying there on the night that he won his presidential election. The
Hmm.
room that he was staying in, it says on their little packet that Nikki was talking about that room doesn't exist anymore. So, or that area doesn't exist where he was staying anymore. So I
Hmm.
don't know what happened to that because
I think just renovations, but they said
yeah,
Suite 300 is named in his honor, so it must be close-ish to the area.
okay. And
Hmm.
then they have the boardroom, which they said he was where he used to like drink his coffee and stuff like that, and it's at the top of
Yep.
the marble staircase at the front of the building, or at the main hall there. Another notable guest that they had was she talked about mobsters, which was Al Capone. He was
Hmm.
apparently a big fan of this hotel and used to hold private illegal gambling games there,
Hmm.
and yeah, so Al Capone, there's an Al Capone suite in the hotel, which is where he used to like to stay, and he could
Yes.
see out the front of the hotel so that he could see who was coming in, and he could get out the back easily if the cops
Hmm.
came. So,
Yeah, he said they said like that was his room because of the visibility. He
mm-hmm,
could see if cops were coming,
yep,
if someone else was coming, or if he needed to leave.
yep, and that is hilarious. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it is, yeah,
There was
and
one story, and this is in their packet, but and I remember the tour guide saying this too. There was one party that was raided by the police, but the governor was there, and the
yeah,
governor told the police officers to go
yeah.
away.
There was a party that was
Hmm.
raided by. I remember him talking about that too. I also remember him talking
Hmm.
about that during Prohibition there was uh, alcohol was
There
since
was a
pro
speakeasy.
it was a speakeasy and
Hmm. They
they
used the mineral
they
water
use
bottles to
the
ship
mineral
out
water bottles to
alcohol.
ship out alcohol because
Hmm.
nobody would think about it. So the hotel kept
Yeah.
making money on alcohol even though it was supposed to be mineral water. So they use that. So that was an illicit thing, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Make your money. That's hilarious. That's funny. And that's a
Hmm.
way to get around things, which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
Or whatever. There was also the was it during one of Al Capone's games that they talked about somebody getting shot, or was that just during a game in general?
That was in the speakeasy,
That was just in the
is what I
speakeasy.
remember him
Okay.
saying. Yeah. So, um, that kind of leads us well into like the stories and everything the tour guide. So the tour guide was saying the speakeasy used to be where the lap pool is now because the lap pool was put in the 80s or 70s, somewhere in there. Yeah, 70s and 80s, when they did their bigger spa renovation. But it used to, that's in the basement.
Hmm.
That used to be the speakeasy. And so they say the back right corner is where this gentleman was shot. And so that's why people feel uneasy in that corner, see shadows in that corner. But yeah, that was in the speakeasy,
Okay.
which they had gambling and everything. He talked about they did have poker games, gambling in the
Yeah.
speakeasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it's a cool hotel, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of stories, and if you do it, I think it's what was $25. If you
Yeah.
stay, you can stay and do the paranormal tour as part of your stay, or
Hmm.
it's an extra $25 or something.
I think
And
it was a little. No, we did this. They had like a coupon. It was like if you put in when you booked your room, if you put in paranormal or something, you got like 2 tickets per room,
Yeah.
just like added on, I think.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to stay to do it, you
Mm,
could just go, and then I think it was 25.
yeah. And it's
It
a
was it was
it's
really good.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
a tour guide every time, and um Jay,
Hmm.
I think is his name, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Um, Pretty sure it was Jay.
And he's worked there for 20 years, I think you said, right?
Quite a long time because his daughter also worked there too, I think.
Yeah, he said
I think longer than that.
his daughter works there now, and she was
Hmm.
born while he was working there.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So
so he told us a couple stories as we walked around. He was a very good tour guide, by the way. Um, he said the presidential suite. So we started at the top. He took people up in the elevators and then we worked our way down. So he said in the presidential suite, which is like the top luxury floor, there the top floor is like you pay extra because it's like a club level or something. I don't remember the exact term.
concierge.
That's where the presidential suite is. And he said there have been many stories where like there's no one staying on that floor because it's the more pricier floor. So there are times where there's no one staying on that floor. And someone will go up to clean or someone will go up to look around or, whatever. And they'll hear parties going on. That sounded like a common story on multiple floors, but especially this floor. They hear parties, like raucous parties going on.
Hmm.
And then also from the top floor, I guess there was like an Elvis impersonator one time he
Yeah,
was
something.
telling us.
Yeah.
And the manager of this Elvis impersonator like drank too much and fell from like the top of the building or something. Or I know they have like porches and verandas and things. So that was one of the stories.
Yeah.
Um, oh, there's a lot of like electrical interference. So he said room 422. Oh, wait, before I tell it, speaking of room numbers, when you check in, obviously they tell you your room number and give you a key. I chose not to look at the book. They have a book right there at the front desk that lists room numbers and people can write down what they experience.
Yeah.
I chose not to look at that. But you can look at that if you want. So like you could theoretically like they give you the room key for 422 and then you look at the list and you're like, "Oh, great. TV's turned on and
Well,
off. Man got shot in the room."
well, as he said though, like he made a joke during the tour as well
Mhm.
that you know, it apparently Nikki's headphones just died because she took them off.
Yeah, they died, but I can still hear you, so you're
Um,
fine.
a joke that he made during this is like, yeah, because ghosts can't walk through walls. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
No.
The room, yeah, it doesn't really matter. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't. You know.
Well, and the hotel has been renovated so many times.
Yeah.
He's like, these rooms as they are not the original rooms, but room 422 specifically, I guess in the 70s when it was still room 422,
Mm-hmm.
a man shot both his wife and himself. So in that room specifically, he said is one of the most active because the TVs will turn on and off, and things will move around. There's lots of stories that come from that room, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely did not choose to look at my room number in advance. Um,
No,
there's a couple
but
little things.
no, but our friends did, and
Yes.
they said they did not find either of our room numbers on there.
Yeah.
But again, doesn't do,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter because you know
Hmm.
it's a ghost. It doesn't really make a difference. They don't care if there's a door or a
Hmm.
wall,
Especially if there wasn't a door or wall back in whenever
whatever
they,
happened. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
there's a couple rooms where little things happen, like room 415, he said a woman like set a penny down and she would come back and it moved. And so she tried it again and did this 4 times and it moved every time. The air wasn't on, all the things that they checked. There was one room, I didn't write down the number, but an old lady had a set of dentures and put it on her nightstand in the like solution, when she went to bed. And when she woke up, they weren't there. The solution was there, but her dentures weren't. So she had security or bellhop or someone come look with her to help her try and find it. So they looked under the bed, they looked in the closet, looked everywhere. I think he also said like including the room, there was no one staying in the room next to her or something, so they looked in there too. But like couldn't find, so she left without her dentures, like checked out of the hotel, never found them again. And she said like she definitely had them because she like ate dinner and like you can't eat with anyways, it was just a really funny story. Room 347 is known as the scratching room, so that's always nice and lovely
Yeah.
to be known as
The
the scratching
scratching
room.
room? Yeah, no. Thanks. Um,
Apparently
yeah.
rooms 215 and 212, he won't go in unless there's a maintenance emergency. So, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Jay, the tour guide, worked maintenance, and
Yes.
he worked at the hotel forever. Um, and he said those specifically, how you can, this is how he described it. He said, how you can feel when there's like
Pressure.
electric surges or energy, and like you get like your hair stands up like you're about to get shocked, and then you touch something and it shocks you. He kind of described it like that, like the energy in there feels heightened, so he would only go in there if it was like truly something that needed fixed right away. And that was pretty close to 214 is the Al Capone room. So is there some type of energy in all of those rooms around there? I don't know, but we were just down the hallway from the Al Capone room.
But it's
I
odd
think,
that if the Al if it'd be those two and not the Al Capone room.
yeah.
Like it's weird that it would be the ones around it and not that specific
Yeah, and he
one.
didn't say anything about energy in the Al Capone room, just that people hear parties, talking, whatever in the Al
Yeah.
Capone room. But he said the rooms around it have bad energy.
Yeah.
So, but Al Capone room doesn't have bad energy. People just hear parties and things. We did hear, it woke us both up like midnight-ish. We did hear a massive party that sounded like right above us, but you were right above us, I
Yeah.
believe. But there was also a wedding
There was a
that,
wedding and I heard some people
yeah.
like
Mhm.
around, but I just figured it was people. So I mean, I
Yeah.
more heard I didn't really hear them like partying. It was just like people talking in the hallway. I kind of figured it was
We
just people
heard like
talking.
woo and like definitely like people drinking and things, but
But there was
there was
also
some
again there was
bridal
a
party.
wedding and I know there
Yeah.
was a bunch of drunk people at that wedding, so I
Yeah.
kind of figured there was just a bunch of drunk people. Now maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong, maybe
And
there
the
was
way he
actually
talked
ghosts, but
about, yeah, the way he talked about the Al Capone room was people hear like specific, it sounds like when you watch a movie and from the 1900s and there's a party, like the Roaring Twenties music. And
okay.
so
Yeah.
the way he made it sound, like it sounded different.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no, I didn't hear anything like
um,
that. I just heard like some people sounded like they were talking or something.
yeah. And the last thing that we haven't talked about that he told us about was there is a little like cocktail bar when you go up the stairs a little bit. And the bartender there was a woman that he said was totally like normal, didn't believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
This was just her job. And she saw one night a guy in a white suit, I guess, come out of, they have like a wall of bookcases, come out of these bookcases and like walk away. And she said, or he said that from then on out, she always had either maintenance or security or someone walk her out, be there to close with her. So she was never alone,
Mm-hmm.
which I would do the same thing. So,
Yeah. I mean, he said he's seen several different things that he can't really explain, like different figures walking around, heard different things. He said one night he heard what sounded like an entire like he said back a long time ago they used to make, when they had big events, they'd make these big, pyramids of glasses. You've seen them in movies and
Yeah.
things. And he said one night he was in a room and he heard what sounded like that entire pyramid crashing down. He's like, you would never mistake that many things crashing down and breaking.
Hmm.
And he said he went in, he checked every single like piece of glass in the building and couldn't find anything broken. And he's like, I
Yeah.
don't know what it was. Like, there's so many different things that he explained and stuff like that just don't really have an explanation that makes it
Hmm.
seem like, there's obviously something going on, because
Yeah.
you can't have that many unexplained things
Yeah.
happening, that it's just, especially when he says he gets reports of things happening almost every night, and even from
Hmm.
people that don't know that this stuff is happening,
Yeah.
because there's people that aren't taking this tour that are reporting issues,
Hmm.
um, and people that are reporting incidents that he's heard before that he hasn't
Hmm.
told them. So
Hmm.
it's
Like the scratching room, and yeah, there's
yeah,
things that repeat.
that repeat, yeah.
Um,
The one,
yeah, and it's weird because there were no deaths in the fires. There's been a couple deaths around the
yeah,
hotel. The manager of the Elvis impersonator, the guy who shot himself and his wife. Like, there's been a couple deaths here and there, but not a ton for how many
that's
things happen.
one of the things my dad asked. He's like, where did all this
I
come? Where
have a
did all the
theory.
hauntings come from? He's like, where did all the hauntings
Yeah.
come from? Because he's like, I'm like, well, I know they had fires, but I don't. They said that there weren't any deaths, and I'm like,
So my
where did all the
theory,
people like? Where did all of
yeah,
it come from?
it is
Like,
a lot of stories. Um, my theory is whenever there is minerals, but especially mineral water, like flowing water, like this is a common theme in paranormal circles. I don't know, paranormal world, I don't know what to call it. Um, a common thing I hear is whenever there is flowing water, but especially combined with minerals, crystals, like anything like that, it heightens the energy.
I've heard
And it's
that.
almost like an amplifier. I don't
Okay,
know the right word. Like it
yeah,
amplifies the energy. And so that would make sense why places like this or the Crescent Hotel or other like healing places in the United States, or there's a lot of like ships and things that have a lot of paranormal things. So it would make sense that if you're around water and minerals, maybe it is like an amplifier. I don't know. I don't know the rationale behind that. That's just what I've heard. So that was what I was thinking is maybe that explains the the sheer number of
you
stories.
know another thing I just thought about too, is another theory that I just thought about too, is that if all of this is, like, if they thought, especially back in the 1800s and stuff, that this water was healing, I wonder how
Hmm.
many people went there and actually still died because
Yeah.
they were gonna, because they
And
couldn't,
that's a lot of energy.
it didn't heal somebody.
Yeah. And I
So
do believe in energy.
yeah,
I mean, like we all know people that we've been around that have really positive energy. And some people have such negative energy, it literally like drains you. So I do believe in like energy.
mm-hmm,
And then if you think about, a lot of the ways people talk about the paranormal is almost like goosebumps, like electricity almost. And water is what are they? I'm not a scientist. What do they call it? Like a conduit or whatever
yeah, water can
um,
conduct,
for
yeah,
electricity.
yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe there is something there.
yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
possible. Um, Out of all the stories that he told, or all the what were the ones
Hmm.
that weirded you out the most? Was there certain ones that stood out to you the most, or ones that, like, because there's a couple that weirded me out the most, and I'll tell you what they were. But I want to hear what you thought that was
Mm.
the weirder ones.
The bartender one stuck out to me only because he said that this lady was totally fine before, like didn't really believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a job. She was local to the area and the Elms is a big employer in the area.
Yeah.
That one stuck out to me because anything like that where someone is like truly a skeptic or non-believer or whatever you want to call them, and then to go like flip a switch and say, I'm never being by myself in this hotel again, and security always has to, I mean, that's a big change.
Yeah.
So that one stuck out to me. And then the scratching room stuck out to me.
Yes.
And I like the Al Capone and Truman stories, but really that was it. The bartender and I think the scratching room stuck out to me the most.
So the the uh the scratching rooms is one. Um,
Hmm.
I know he also mentioned that people reported getting their feet tickled in the middle of the night, which is no thanks. No, just no.
Yeah.
No, that's not okay. Um, and yeah, so that's a no for me, dog. But what's there was another one that I was thinking of that I just kind of blanked on just a second ago. Um, but yeah, I don't.
There was one where he said the housekeepers. I
Oh,
forgot to mention this.
everything's upside down, like everything's flipped
Yes.
over. That was a weird one too. Like he said,
Yeah.
almost every single housekeeper has had the same incident
Hmm.
where they'll go into a room and there's not a specific room, but
Hmm.
they'll be working in a room and they'll just go out to their cart for like a, a,
Hmm.
a minute or so to get something, and they'll go back into the room and everything's upside down, and it's just
Yeah,
like
and that was weird because it wasn't one specific area.
no,
He,
it's
so
like
he talked about
all
it
over
when
the
we were
hotel.
on the third floor, and he said it happens a lot on the third floor, but he didn't say a specific room.
I remember the other one that weirded me out, and
Hmm.
me and Phil made a joke about this when we were in this. Okay,
Oh.
because I was standing next to him when he said this. Do you remember the comment that he made? He was talking about, I don't remember what floor we were on when we were talking about this, but when he was doing the tour, he said that they've had several times where they've had people come in with Ouija boards and try to do things.
Oh yeah.
And he
Hmm.
said he said that he's like, okay, so every they do it. He's like, one time the Ouija board went missing. And he said
Hmm.
and it didn't appear again. He's like, they don't know where it went. It just disappeared. He's like, it showed up again several months later. And
Hmm.
he made the joke that he's like, we think it's like Jumanji, and they beat it. And me and Phil looked at each other, literally looked at each other, and was like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I'm not really sure if that's good or bad. Because if they
Hmm.
beat the Ouija board, then I think that's a bad thing. I think we're all screwed right now. Like,
Yeah, I think that was on the third floor, I think, because that's where the scratching room and a lot of the upside down stuff happens.
okay.
I feel like it was on that floor that he said that.
Because, like, I mean, if you beat the Ouija board, like,
Hmm. I haven't seen Jumanji, so I probably heard that and was like, I don't even know what that
okay, well,
means.
that's got to be on the list then at some point for you to watch Jumanji. We'll have to watch. That's a series that you can watch because you can watch the original and then you can watch the new ones.
I'm like, Kevin, I'm like barely into, like, I'm so tired. I don't even want to hardly watch Star Wars. Like, I want to watch Star Wars, but I'm also like, ugh. So watching something new at this point sounds
Well, we'll get to it eventually.
disgusting.
We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. It'll put it on the list though. We'll
It'll
get
be on the
there.
list. It'll be on the list.
Hmm.
But anyway, um, yeah, I mean, it's
I loved it. There were a lot of good stories.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We ended it in the lap pool area in the basement, and he even said a couple random things like I think Rocky trained there. So it was just a good tour. Like he talked about more than just go. It was just a good tour all
Hmm.
around.
Yeah, because he gives you like history of the hotel and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, the most interesting fact that I heard while he was giving the tour was the tile in the
Hmm.
lobby is
Yeah.
little tiny tiles. Like when I'm talking tiny tiles, they're like the size of your keys on your keyboard of your computer,
Hmm.
like little tiles.
Yeah, and they're tiny.
And the entire floor of the lobby is these little tiles. And he said when they laid it in the lobby, it took them more than a year to lay the floor,
Yeah.
which is flippin' crazy. Cause
Hmm.
there's gotta be a million of them in that lobby,
Yeah.
and he
And he
said
said
there's
it took so long to lay, like they would change up the pattern
yeah,
just in little
he
tiny
said
pieces just to keep their sanity.
yeah, he said they probably did it just to keep their sanity because there's like it's basically the exact same thing except there's like little times that there's like a flip and it's just flipped into like
Hmm.
and it's just yeah it is cool, but anyway, I think Nick, it is time for facts.
Yeah, you can go first.
So, I just decided to look up interesting facts about hotels.
Hmm.
Just in general, because this is a
Mhm.
hotel. So, um, this hotel is old. Obviously, the Elms is built in 1888, the original hotel. So that's, 140 years old almost,
Yeah.
almost 140 years old. So
Hmm.
that's getting up there in age. The oldest hotel is in Japan.
Hmm.
It is called the. I'm gonna screw this up so bad. So I will put the words out on the bottom of the screen here. The Kyunkan Inn
Hmm.
in Japan. It is more than 1,300 years old.
Wow.
It has been run by the same family for more than 50 generations.
Wow, that's crazy. 50 generations.
Yeah. Um, which is interesting. That's a long time to have a hotel and also be run by the same family,
Mhm.
which is crazy. First hotel with air conditioning was in 1922.
Hmm.
And. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Largest hotel is in Malaysia. No. The largest hotel is the First World Hotel in Malaysia with 7,351 rooms.
Wow.
There's one coming to Saudi Arabia that'll have 10,000 rooms, but it's, I guess, not done
That's
yet.
insane because the Elms only had 130 or
Yeah.
less than 200. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
So, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, I looked up like why so many hotels skip the 13th floor.
Yeah.
And I saw a quote, J.W. Bill Marriott Jr., that's a name, chairman of Marriott International, said in 2007, it was one of the first things I learned in the hotel industry. Don't go to 13. So there's a couple different reasons, and hotels will either skip the 13th floor or do like 12B or 14A. Um, there's a couple different random reasons. So the number 13 is linked to a lot of superstitions, whether it stems from um like there's a lot of different religions it stems from, but Christianity especially. Judas, I guess, was the 13th of the Last Supper. And then there's also like something with Loki and the Norse gods in 13. So there's a lot of like superstition around that. But also I guess like there's a, oh, it doesn't say what percentage. I thought it did. There's actually a pretty high percentage of people that have, well, relatively high. I think it was still like less than 3%, but triskaidekaphobia, which is the fear of the number 13.
Hmm.
So that's like a real thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so triskaidekaphobia, fear of the number 13, superstitions, and so I guess hotels just decided we don't want to lose any business of any customers, so they just skip it.
And it's not even hotels. A lot of businesses, a lot of high rises in general won't do it. Um,
Yeah.
I used to volunteer in a hospital. They didn't have
Hmm.
a room 13. There was no room 13s on any floor.
That's crazy.
So like, every floor had the with the rooms were numbered as the first number was the floor number. So like if you were on floor 5, it was 5 and then the room number. So it was 5, 10, 5, 6, 10, 6, whatever.
Hmm.
But there was never a 13. It went 12 and then 14. Always. Every room, every floor had that. Um, and yeah, so
It's
I
interesting that and it's a lot of it like is like superstition because I also read that in some other countries they skip the fourth floor for whatever reason. So it's interesting that like we just adapt to whatever
yeah.
our culture
Yep.
has deemed. It's really interesting, but that was the main reasons was triskaidekaphobia and superstitions was
Yeah. Not surprised because,
yeah.
yeah, people are superstitious. So, like,
Hmm.
I think, yeah, people are scared. So, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to. People are scared of things, and they don't know how to
Rationalize
it.
them.
So it's just what happens. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of hotels. If you have enough floors to have a 13, they'll skip 13, or they'll skip a 13th room or room number 13 or whatever. So, but yeah.
Which is crazy because, like, if you count the floors, there's still a 13th floor. It's just called something different.
Well, some of them,
Like 12B or,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think also what some of them will do is, and I don't know for this for sure, but I know at, and I would guess this is what some of them would do, because I know at the
Hmm.
hospital they didn't they used like one of the floors as like maintenance and storage. So
Mm,
like they just nobody was
makes
on that
sense.
floor. It was a secured floor. You couldn't even get to it. It was just maintenance and stuff. So like there was never going to be anybody on that floor except for, you know, maintenance.
Maintenance and the
Yeah.
workers. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So you could do that. That would be that way. The 13th floor is not
Hmm.
anything. It's just
Hmm.
there. So you bypass that issue. But
Yeah. But like it's still a 13th floor.
it
Like
is. It
that's just
is.
like you either stop at 12 and don't build any taller, or like, yeah, you can bypass it, but like theoretically it's still there.
It's there,
Yeah.
but you don't have anybody staying there. I guess is
Yeah.
the idea, or working on that floor or
Weird.
anything. But yeah, people are superstitious, and it's
Hmm.
it's interesting. So, but
Yeah.
I guess we need to now book a stay at the Crescent in Arkansas.
Hmm.
That'll be the next trip whenever we decide to do another
Yeah.
one down there. So
Yeah, because it's not that much farther than like going to the south of Missouri. So.
no, it's like an hour or something outside of
Hmm.
like southern Missouri. So, but anyway, I think that is it for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed this because we had fun on the trip. So,
Hmm.
if you like um, if you like haunted places or staying at nice hotels, even if you just like a weekend trip, Excelsior Springs is a pretty little town. Like
Yeah, it is.
it's a fun little place. So, and you're just outside of Kansas City. So if you really want to like
Hmm.
do stuff, you can go into Kansas City and just stay in Excelsior Springs, and maybe
Yeah.
you'll get haunted overnight if you don't have a problem with that. If you do, maybe
Hmm.
stay away from that hotel. Just
Yeah.
say. But anyway, hope you guys like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.